Peace, peace, and welcome. I have an incredibly special guest with me this morning, Hotep Jesus. What's up, bro?
What's good, bro? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So I first came across you, I think as many others did, on the Joe Rogan podcast, and you brought up so many interesting discussions or worldviews that really intrigued me. I know you have a bunch of stuff going on with like your show, Hotep's Been Told You, and various other ventures that I want to get into. But I want to start. I watched a lot of your interviews too, and I actually learned a lot, kind of like seeing how you go about things.
Okay.
One of the things that I thought was interesting is strategically how you've been utilizing different platforms to build your brand. But let's get into you as a person. Where'd you grow up?
Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Newark, New Jersey. Then, I moved to the burbs, graduated high school. But I'm a Jersey guy, man. I'm Jersey born and raised. I lived everywhere in New Jersey, Irvington, East Orange, Elizabeth, Hillside, a lot of Essex County, a lot of Somerset County, a lot of Union County. But I've been trapped in Jersey, man, my whole life. I can't wait to leave. My next move is going to be my best move, but I'm getting the fuck out of Jersey.
What's next? You coming to Silicon Valley? I know you're in the tech.
Potentially, it wasn't, I hadn't thought about it. Now that you said it, I wouldn't say no, right? Like, we could check that vibe out. I'm really open to like where my next move might be. And then, I really want my next move to be like a dual move. Like I really want two locations, one here and one there, and kind of bounce between the two. Silicon Valley might not be a bad number one or two, man.
Yeah.
It's really expensive to live out there though.
Nah, yeah, it's crazy. My rent here is $3,200 a month.
$3,200 a month?
Yeah, for a one bedroom.
One bedroom?
Yeah, in Hayes Valley, in San Francisco.
It's an investment.
Yeah, nah. I mean, a lot of people are out here. One of the interviews, I heard you talking about the different tech businesses that you're invested in. I have equity in a company called FitMatch. And they use AI to do body scanning and send people like clothing options that are like match their preferences. It's like a 95% fit rate. And my homie out of college started that. He's Jamaican. You're Jamaican too, right?
My father's from Jamaica, yep.
Father's from Jamaica, yes. What are the various tech companies that you're involved in right now?
Coinbase app, Wazo, and Jiffitaz. Jiffitaz is our Twitter tool. It lets you save GIFs and videos from Twitter. Wazo is our artificial intelligence software and hardware for surveillance, telemetry, object recognition, weapon detection, and other machine learning capabilities, heat mapping, so on and so forth. We're actually, with that company, we're actually working on some social distancing tools for corporations. Right now we're doing people counting at a grocery store, and basically going to alert the manager when, they breach certain limits. So, you can say, hey, it's getting kind of tight here. We're not at the limit yet. It's getting kind of tight. And then, when it hits the limit, you can usually we mitigate it so that you never hit the limit. Like you kind of want to just start like, hey, start thinking about how you're going to put a lid on the occupancy, send people to the front doors to like get ready. So you can kind of see like, where we at, how many people are at the counter. And we're doing it in a really unique way because we're not storing anyone's information. We're not doing facial recognition, at least not for this execution. It's just simply people counting. We're just, counting how every time somebody passes the door, and we're counting entrances and exits. And that's simply it. So we're able to, work with corporations to make them government compliant. And, that's some real fun stuff. And then we can get into commercial stuff too. So with the commercial buildings, a lot of people want to know occupancy. They want to know heat mapping, especially near elevator spaces, so they can kind of see, hey, where are people getting stuck on what floors, so on and so forth. How can we design the offices better? Also in retail locations, you can see what are the hot spots where people are stopping, and you can, sell, your more premium products there, maybe your add-ons or whatever, near your POS. But it'll show you, another thing that's possible as well. I know companies doing this with Oracle, but increasing the rates of people that pass by the store and then enter. So you're basically talking about foot traffic conversion rates, which is also within the realm of possibilities. The funny thing is, today, like, if you can think it, we can build it. Right? So you think about the way you want to handle this stuff. It's great, and so that's Wazo AI, Wazo Security, because we also do security as well.
What's the name Wazo? What does that mean?
Wazo?
Yeah.
Wazo is the name of the owl.
Okay.
Our logo is an owl. Now, don't go Bohemian Grove Illuminati conspiracy theory on me. But we have a university professor, Noah. He's a really good guy. University professor who designed our logo. He created our branding, the name Wazo, the whole nine. But that's the owl's name, man. Wazo. Really, really awesome company. And then we, Bitcoin boomed this week. So we have the Bitcoin company, coinbitsapp.com. That was started by Maher and his brother Yusuf. We call him Chef. And that one's just basically a passive Bitcoin investing app based upon the dollar cost average investing strategy. So that one's pretty good. You basically set it, forget it. If you've been rounding up with us past few months, during these dips and just buying every week, you buy on a recurring basis, you'd be happy right now. Last night I got a bunch of screenshots from our loyal users, and they were like, I'm up. Look how much I'm up. Look how much I'm up. Some people are up like 50%. You couldn't get those type of returns in the stock market this year outside of playing options. So yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, I actually got a bunch of screenshots from friends about Bitcoin, and I've been like very anti-crypto. I've been one of those people, and a good friend of mine, he really loves your content. His name is Aubrey. He works for a company called Airtable.
Oh yeah, I know Airtable.
He works at Airtable now, and he sent me some questions. He was like, "Oh, ask Hotep this. You want me to call you Bryan during this, or do you care?"
It doesn't matter. Whatever's comfortable.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, is cryptocurrency a safer way to transfer wealth to the Black community? If so, why, and what's on the horizon?
Oh man,
shout out to you, Aubrey.
That's appreciate the question. Second of all, I love Airtable. My life is on there. Crypto. So my let's give my short answer, and then we'll give a long answer, right? So the short answer is no. But I see how he's asking the question, which is why I said there's a longer answer to this. Should Black people invest in crypto? Hell yeah, you should. I think anybody who's investing should have a well-diversified portfolio of securities. End of the day, all these securities are based upon sentiment and emotions. If you, let's say this was 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, let's say 5 years ago. 5 years ago, if you said, yo, Bitcoin is stupid, you'd be a dummy. You'd be a dummy because you could have bought like 500 and been a millionaire during the boom of 2017. Or was it 2018 now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hindsight though, that's always like, you can say that
right.
For things, but continue.
Right. So you'd be a dummy to say I shouldn't have some Bitcoin. you should definitely have some Bitcoin. You should definitely have you some. Um, to not have an asset with its type of volatility and growth rate would be kind of stupid. Now, I'm not saying go all in, because that could be dangerous. Um, things are unpredictable. Life is unpredictable. Bitcoin is not decentralized. Let's also say that Bitcoin is not decentralized. And I'm not saying that as far as the technology is concerned. I'm saying that as far as the people who make the decisions for the protocol.
Okay.
This stuff is VC backed, especially when we're talking about things like BCH and the other various Bitcoin alternatives. I don't put my trust in none of that, but I will expose my portfolio to some of these assets because we're betting, we're gambling here. That's what we're doing. We're gambling with our money, hoping that these things go up. I do believe that there is promise for Bitcoin. Otherwise, I wouldn't be involved in the Bitcoin. But for me, I don't think there's one solution for the Black community. Like, I don't think Bitcoin could save the Black community. Like, that's impossible. The Black community has mastered money. We throw it in the air at strip clubs. So money is nothing to us. I think that whatever form this money comes in, it's what you do with it. It's that staying power. It's that ownership. I don't see a whole lot of Black people in VCs. Now, if you would have asked me, hey, do you think venture capitalism could change the Black community? I'd say, hell yeah. I think that's the only way. You would need people like Jay-Z, Rihanna, Beyonce to pool their assets, create a VC, and start incubating, 50 startups. You know what I mean? 50 Black startups. Why doesn't that happen? Why not 50 Black crypto startups? I don't think they can say things like, oh, well, there's not that many Black people out here in this space. I think that's not true. I think there's a lot of Black people in this space that could definitely use a Rihanna. Crypto Blood is out here doing great work. Bitcoin Zay is out here doing great work. There's a lot of people out here that could use this backing, and they're not getting it. And we know due to racial barriers, especially with straight Black males, the VCs aren't reaching out to Black males. A lot of that you see now because of the feminist movement, that money is going to Black women. So when you say, hey, yeah, we're investing in Black people and Black companies, yeah, they're investing in Black female companies because it looks good from a PR perspective for these VCs, but they're not investing in heterosexual Black males. You know what I mean? And that's a very different thing to do, because what you do is you stabilize the household. When you take the Black male or the male of any village, tribe, or neighborhood, and you emasculate him so that the female out earns him and she now runs the household, it's a very dangerous place to be for the future of those people. So why isn't it that those VCs aren't backing Black males? I don't know. Or Jay-Z and them, but I think VC is the way that you take the Black community and turn it in. And I think it's happening in Nigeria. Nigeria is very hot in the tech space right now. So I think those things will happen organically. And Nigeria is hot in the Bitcoin market too. They listen to my podcast. Ghana listens. South Africa listens. So I think there's a lot of promise. And when I think about the Black community, I don't exclude Africa. Some people think about Black people as just United States. I never really had that conception of Black people, mostly because my father's from Jamaica. So I've always had like that international vibe to me, where like, y'all all my peoples. When I go to Jamaica, I'm gonna see a dude that looked like one of my homies from North. When I went to Tanzania, I saw people I knew. I'm like, yo, that looked like Rashida from.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I spent a month in Kenya last year. I was in Nairobi, and when I got home, I was like, yo, every Black American has a a twin in Kenya.
I'm telling you.
Because like the perception of what people in Africa look like is very disconnected from like how I thought about people from Africa when I was growing up. And so when I went there, I was like at a cafe, and I swear I swear Dave Chappelle was right across from me. And I was like, "Yo, bro, you know you look just like Dave Chappelle." And but that debate though about you know, am I black? You know, that's like that will vary. You know, people from Jamaica, in conversations I've had with people, it's not monolithic. And absolutes, it's kind of, you know, like I try to avoid speaking in absolutes, and I try to I do it sometimes anyway, and I try to find common ground with people even if we don't necessarily agree. Like there are people out here that I've met, black VCs are investing in black men, like they do exist.
Okay.
The spectrum I'm not familiar with. I'm not familiar with how it's weighted.
Okay.
I know PR is very much, it drives a lot of like how people make decisions. Like I'm in politics. I know that's real. Do you know Michael Siebel? You ever heard his name?
Nope.
Or Michael Siebel was the CEO of Y Combinator. He's a black man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A black man runs Y Combinator?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And Ruben Harris. Ruben Harris runs I had him on a podcast. He's a black male. He's from Atlanta. He runs a tech company called Career Karma, and they're doing coding education, which I saw you tweet about the other day. A coding mentor. I ran a nonprofit called Mission Bit, which taught coding to high school students across the Bay Area, and that's kind of how I met a lot of these people. Eric Moore is a black man, venture capitalist. He runs a company called Base Ventures, and they invest in several. They have Serena Williams invests with him. Other people invest with him, he's been connected to me through Mission Bit too. And so this dude named Brian Dixon that's based out here. Some people I want to put you in touch with.
Okay.
Brian Dixon is he works for Kapoor Capital. Do you know Kapoor?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I know you know. I mean, for our viewers you don't know.
I know the corporations. Yeah. Okay. I know all the corporation names. Yeah.
So and Brian, he works. He's a partner at the company. He doesn't run the company, obviously.
Oh wow.
But so it's like, people. It's a small community. Tristan Walker did a lot before. I think he sold his company, but I've never met Tristan.
To Gillette. Who did he sell to?
I don't know. Like Ruben told me he sold it.
I love that company he built. Mm-hmm. The shaving joint. Bevel.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I remember when he did the execution with Combat Jack, RIP, Reggie Ossie. Mm-hmm. That was a beautiful thing. I felt like he got jerked on the deal, on the sale. I don't know if he had much choice though. I don't know. Maybe I'm uneducated on it. I feel like he got jerked, but I think that he was so successful that they probably ganged up on Tristan. I'm thinking they were like, we own the distribution channels, don't make us have to come and really put you out of business. And he was like, all right, fine, sell. You couldn't blame him for that, right? Because they will put you out of business and you'll have zero.
He was the guy. He was like the guy. I mean, and he sponsored a bunch of podcasts that I listened to.
Yeah.
So I had Ken Montgomery on the show too. I don't know if you heard of him. He's a lawyer out of Brooklyn. He's now representing Tax Stone in this murder trial. But all the companies. So you mentioned, was it 3 or 4 tech companies?
3.
Okay, 3 tech companies, and I know you do sort of like a coaching group.
I have the virtual summit every Saturday. Virtual summit every Saturday. It's a really awesome program. So what happened with that was.
What's the name of it? I'm sorry, I just want to make sure it was clear.
Virtual summit.
Virtual summit. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a virtual small business summit. Basically, where that came from was I noticed that when I published my book, Dominate Twitter, one of the students was able to grab some of my free time. And I noticed how he was a lot more successful than other people because he had that access to me. You know, he's able to like pick my brain based upon some of the things I said in the book for like clarification and for customization for his own brand and style. And he's doing really well now. You know, he's making like 10-figure months. You know, he's just like really killing it. So I got to thinking. Oh, and then I worked with this other girl. She had a health brand. And that deal fell through. She ended up, you know, she always wanted to pay me back for just always giving her free advice. She always wanted to pay me back. So she was like, let me manage you. Like, you're really popular. Like, let me manage you. And then like the first time I had like a paid deal, you know, I basically sent it to her. Like 30 days was about to end up, you know, like probably like day 27, and her and her boyfriend had a breakup or something like that. And yeah, her and her boyfriend is, you know, just like dumb excuses for like not meeting demand, you know, like I don't really care about, you know, like I care, but like if I send you a deal and you know, she hadn't closed the deal yet, mostly because she wanted to do things her way. She didn't want to listen to me. She was like, I don't really have that much time. I'm like, yeah, you told me you were going to manage the situation. Like, and you know, like I didn't ask you to do this, you know? So she wanted to do it her way. So I let her do it her way. So I ended up closing the deal, and I just basically sent it to her to just kind of like wrap up, put some finishing touches, you know, like, you know, take payment. And I was just going to give her the payment. She didn't even make 30 days. But you know, I devoted like 2 years of advice into her business, and we moved her from individuals to corporate packages, and she's just doing really good now, you know. But I was thinking about, you know, just all these people I was helping, and I'm like, it took up a lot of my time because, you know, you get off the phone with one person and you talk to another person, you know, that could go 4 hours out of my day, right? So I was like, yeah, how do I help as the maximum amount of people as possible with respect to my time? So I thought of this summit idea where, you know, for 2 hours every Saturday between 11:30 and 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, 11:30 a.m., we all just get all the small business owners in the room and just answer questions. Just answer questions. People say, hey, you know, I'm doing this, and, you know, I'm having trouble with that. And then, you know, the community is so cool. The thing I love about the people is everybody ends up helping. Like everybody's throwing suggestions. It's not just me. You know what I mean? It's mostly getting advice from me because I just have the experience. But you know, like we got this one dude, Shahid, who comes in and, you know, he'll I'll mention something and he starts throwing links out, you know, or telling us like, okay, you know, what he's talking about, here's a great tool for that. He's really good with the tools. But, you know, we got a great mix. We got bloggers in there. We got media, political media in there. We got e-com. We got a dude running a marketing agency. We got one girl that's heavy in the comic space. We got another dude that does, he does music for like God of War and Spider-Man, the video games I'm talking about, you know, so like super big budget stuff. So yeah, it's like a really awesome crowd. And I think a lot of it is because of the Joe Rogan interview put me, you know, in front of a lot of eyes. But a lot of important people, VIPs, follow me. So because of that, you know, I have a rich group of people around me. So when you come to these summits, it's not like you're dealing with like people with plebish behavior, you know, like, oh my God, I can't believe he's asked this question. No, this is a group of seriously motivated people that have already self-educated themselves to a certain level to where they just need, you know, go to the next stage of growth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, trying to build multiple things, not trying to build multiple things, but like I started to go from multiple things to a few things.
Yeah.
And as you are on that trajectory, you find yourself running into roadblocks, and you can have a group of friends that may not be on the same mentality. And so you can't really feed off that, you know? So like just building that community of doers is something that I really believe in. And it's also something that, you know, takes time, and there's like I pay for a personal trainer, right? I can't now because we're quarantined.
Right.
and you know, there's several things that I believe in paying for.
Okay.
Like being a part of that community, being part of these communities, I think is one of those things. And I know there's a membership cost associated with it, but there will be people that will be with what you do, right? There will be people that will be like, nah, I don't need that, like because they don't want to pay for it.
Oh yeah.
Like what have you? Do you have any commentary about that? Just like that mentality.
Absolutely, I have commentary about that.
Go ahead.
Fuck them. Like that's. I mean, I'm not there for that type of person. I'm, like I promised with my book, Build Your Tribe, Change the World. Right. That person's not in my tribe, so they don't exist in my world. I only focus on people who are doers and people. So, for example, like I say with myself, people, I don't feel bad about selling information because I buy so much of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is what we do. Like, you have to, at some point, buy some information. I've spent thousands on educating myself, so people some people make fun of people who sell courses or books or whatever it is. And I'm like, I get where that comes from, because there's a lot of people out here who will learn something. Like, let's say it's like one dude, he says like, all right, I'm going to start a marketing agency, right? He closes one deal and the next day he's like, how to start a marketing agency, right? It's like, you closed one deal. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So I get the pushback. The difference is between me and those guys, is I have real experience, and I'm always gonna be. People are always gonna know where the real value is. After they buy his and then they experience me, they're gonna be like, all right, maybe I wasted my money on that, but I didn't waste my money on this guy. But I think a lot of it comes to self-educating yourself enough to know who knows their shit. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when I purchase information, my purchase decisions are well educated. Some people's purchase decisions aren't educated, so they don't know what to buy. You ever run into somebody who it's like, oh, I need to build a website, and it's like, okay, how are you going to do that? I'm going to go to Squarespace, and it's like, that might not be the most economical solution, especially for somebody that's on a small budget. Like, you might want to go get Elementor for $50 a year and pop it up on WordPress.org and pay $10 for hosting for the year, $60. You're out there, and you can customize your page. There's no monthly recurring fee, and it's easier, as far as the UI is concerned. It's these type of things that matter when you're young. The main problem with businesses is they don't know where to spend their time and money, and I do, and that's what I give people. But when like I said, I spend, I have educated buying decisions, and I've spent $2,000 on a course before. Mm-hmm. Didn't even blink. Actually, it was $1,500. It was on sale, introductory rate. I was like, I want it. And then I bought this course. I'll be honest with you. I bought this course. I knew, I want to say, at least 75% of the information. Didn't care because some of the filler information was educational. But he led me to one author that changed my life. One author, one book. I spent $2,000 to purchase, I think, a $30 book. And I'm a completely different person because of that, right? And some people will say, well, you didn't get your 2,000 worth because you knew. I got my 2,000 worth because I found a piece of information that changed me, So people who are afraid to invest in their own education just suck at life. So, like, why would I care about you? Like, you don't invest in your own education. Mm-hmm. Some people pay a lot of money to go to a university. I'm the type of person that pays a lot of money to educate myself on my own. Like, you can be that person where you can just purchase information for people. If I want to know something, I'm going to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have, like, what was like your education experience post high school? Did you go to college? Did you do that? Or?
So I went to high school, and then I went to community college. I'll tell you what my college experience was like. You're probably the only person that is going to get this information, or has gotten it up to this point. I went to county college, and I was a soccer player. At county college, I learned how to play basketball. You had all the street ballers would come down, they would ball, and I used to just watch like, damn, dudes are sick, man. But I was athletic because I played soccer. I was fit. So this one cat, he dribbled the ball really well. So I asked him, I said, yo, how you get so good at dribbling? So he said, yo, I went in the garage, turned the lights off and dribbled with 2 basketballs. I said, bet. Went home, what I do? Did the same thing. Learn how to dribble. It took me a week to learn how to dribble. It's like, and I was really good. So, I mean, it's basketball. You just kind of got to practice a little bit, right? Then I couldn't shoot. So I asked this white boy, he was the best shooter in the gym. I said, yo, how you shoot so well? So he told me how to shoot. He said, at first, when you change I was shooting from here, but when you shoot from above your head, it's a better arc on the ball. So he said, at first it's gonna take some getting used to. You're not gonna make any shots, but then when they start going in, you're gonna make all of them. And sure enough, I became a great shooter. So I had a full package game. Then I was hitting the gym. So at one point, I was able to dunk the ball. So, it was cool. Like cats used to call me up like, yo, you want a ball? So I was a basketball head. I was cutting class to go play basketball. And then also at the time, I was working at Nordstrom selling women's shoes. So I was making like 2 G's every 2 weeks, coming straight out of high school, So I was getting like $4K cash. I'm talking about take home. I was selling women's shoes, getting 10% at Nordstrom. And then, so I was like getting money. Like I wasn't even thinking about school. You know what I mean? Like I went to school to hustle, like I went to school to sell, like to sell services to people, you know what I mean? And to sell things to people. I was using school to hustle. I remember I enrolled in another university a little bit later just to hustle clothes, just to hustle Tim's. Like I paid a class just to have access to the students to sell them Timberland boots. You know what I mean? Like, that's college to me was just a come up.
Right.
So, I didn't take it serious from an academic point of view because academically I was educating myself on other things. And I didn't respect the county community. I remember when I first went to county and I had my accounting class, I seen my teacher pull up. She was late to class, and I saw her drive by our classroom in this little Pinto looking car. I'm like, damn, yo, she doing bad. You late for class. And I'm like, yo, this is my teacher? I'm like, this is insulting. So then like right around 20, I walked into one of my classes at another university, at another county college, community college. And I walked in like 2 minutes late, and the teacher said to me, he said, yo, you're late. And I said, no, I'm not late. I said, I'll let you know when you're late. I pay for this class. You work for me. And the whole class was like, oh shit, like, and everybody kind of got quiet, and he looked at me and I looked at him and I sat the fuck down. Like, no, bro, like I'm a grown ass man. You can't see once you put money in somebody's pocket, it kind of changes your perspective around this world. You dealing with a grown ass man now. I got money. I got a car. Like I'm doing good out here. And I got a hustle. I got my own record label. We working with Funkmaster Flex. Like I was a young kid. I was out here moving, So like community college and college to me was like a joke. I saw people. I thought people that went to college was stupid. I'm like, you going there because you stupid. Like that's how I pictured it. You know what I mean? I'm like, because you really need this shit. And then so yeah, I didn't get educated through college. I got picked up by a mortgage company. So I was a mortgage broker up until the 2008 financial crisis. And we was killing it. You know what I mean? Like I remember it took me 3 months to get my first real big check. The first 2 months, my homie was making fun of me. He was like, yo, you going to this job every day. They ain't paying you. You supposed to get an hourly rate, a stipend, minimum wage, something. I'm like, nah, I'm good. He's like, nah, it's a scam. It's a scam. You working the scam. That's MLM. I'm like, nah, it's not MLM. It's legit. He's like, nah. So the first time I came home with a check, I came home with a check with $400. He's like, see, I told you. Because I was a rookie. I closed my first loan. It was with Argent. It was an ARM, 4% some interest rate. It was a lady. She was a little bit more savvy than me, and she knocked me down to like a 0.5 point on the front end or something like that. So I got noodles on a deal, $400. So so that was that. But then my next deal was like a 5G Whopper. You know what I mean? Like I remember you was hood because we went. You used to go to the cash agency.
Okay.
Cash check agency. They take like $15 out your check to
Yeah,
cash your check.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember I came home with 5 G's in my hand, and I was staying with my boy at the time because I got kicked out. My parents kicked me out for a while, and I came home. I threw the 5 G's on the bed. I said, "What now, bitch? What now, bitch?" Right? So like I always been able to find a way to go out here and get it. So like I ain't like college to me was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like my girl, she a university chick. She's intelligent and she like doing shit by the book, but sometimes she, when she's stressful, I help her with her homework. Like, yo, this is how you do this. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? But that's just the way my mom's wired. My mom's wired to just be able to solve problems,
Yeah, yeah. I have met a lot of entrepreneurs that didn't go the college route, and and some that did. I mean, and I know you have kids, and so
Yeah.
and just based on how, um, you know, well, what's that discussion like at home about post secondary?
Um, it's very candid, very, very candid. You know, I tell my kids it is what it is. If it's free, it's good. If you gotta pay for it, it's probably not good. Um, if you can't afford to pay for college cash, you probably shouldn't be going.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to take out a loan to go, you probably shouldn't be going. Um, Also, if you don't get a free ride, like if you don't get a scholarship, you probably not college material anyway. you you're not taking it serious, right? Like if you took it serious, like you got to think about, like a lot of kids coast through high school. I coast through high school. If I applied myself, I could have easily been, full ride to some university. You know what I mean? Like some university would have taken me, especially for being an athlete. So like it doesn't take much, even as an adult, probably easier as an adult. It doesn't take much to be in the top percentile, right? You just got to actually like do what you're supposed to do and then go a little bit above that, and
Yeah.
you're better than everybody else. So I don't know, man. It's just like, yeah, I tell my kids, like, if you don't get a full ride, you ain't going, bro. You need to go and get a trade or a skill or a job or get you a fucking e-com business. Like I told my daughter, I said, if you leave high school and you're not getting at least $50,000 online, I failed you as a father.
Mm.
Like, there's no reason why she can't pop up a doggy blog, throw up some Google ads, and 2 years later be floating on at least 30K cash coming in, 30 to 50K cash coming in, just off a doggy blog. Then you just take, a percentage of that and pay somebody to fuck a blog about doggies all day. Like, this shit doesn't take much, but it's, your kids, so I tell them, like, so like, if you don't got a scholarship, you got to pay for college, and I'll show you how to get that money. If you want to go to college, you should pay for it cash, but don't take out no loans. That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So I want to get into some more of that. Like you just mentioned the e-commerce business. So, and I'm trying to go through the portfolio. I don't want to go through all the ways you make money because I know you have like a. But so we have the 3 tech companies. I don't know if those are cash positive. I know that you just mentioned, the information, which is like I think a great resource for people. What are some of the other things that, and like the YouTube channel? I'm sure. This brings in something. What
Yeah.
are some of the other things you're invested in? Do you do real estate? Do you do like equity?
I used to do real estate. Like I said, I came from that world.
Yeah, yeah.
I came from that world. The thing is with me is, I don't own a vehicle. I don't, I don't, I don't want to own a vehicle in the state of New Jersey. This state is racist and their entire judicial system is racist. So I refuse to drive in this state. So I don't own a motor vehicle. And that's a huge hindrance when it comes to doing real estate. So technically I can't do real estate. But if you got a car, real estate is probably really easy and something I would do. Also, even if I had a car, I probably wouldn't do it. I don't like leaving the house. I can be social, but I don't like being social. Like I don't want to go out and sell and talk to people. That's just not what I want to do with my time. I'd rather help people. That's what I really want to do with my time. I want to answer questions and help people and volunteer my time. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be out here taking houses from poor people and selling it to rich people. That's not what I want to do.
Mm, mm. And so not even as a landlord or as a equity partner.
I mean, it's something, that if the opportunity arises, you'll always take advantage of that. It's just not where my mind is. My mind is on tech. My mind is
Right.
software. And let's focus on these. Let's focus on these things. Because let's be honest, Jeff Bezos didn't get rich off of selling houses. The top companies in the world are tech companies. I want to be one of the top people in the world, and the only way you're going to do that is tech. You're not going to do it through some fucking houses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I work with Dave Oswald. That's my old boss, mentor. But he, amazing real estate guy. If I ever want to get into real estate, it's not a problem for me. I understand the whole game. If I did it, I'd probably do REOs, and foreclosures, which is the only way to buy a house, I believe. Is all cash again, same scheme. But I think if you're somebody who has good credit, and in the right states, I would take out a loan and buy 10 houses.
Yeah, yeah.
I would, if you, I don't know. I hate the whole
That's good.
banking system. I hate the whole banking system and everything.
Yeah. And Hotep Nation and Hotep, is it Hotep Con? Is that what's the
Yeah,
name?
that's the event. It got
Yeah.
postponed obviously because of the quarantine. Yeah, so that Hotep Nation, hotepnation.com. That's our nonprofit organization. That's our foundation. Foundation, literally, and based upon paperwork as well. But that is Uncle Hotep, Dodul, Smite, P, Mukhtar, Chad, Brody, the whole squad. It's a lot of us. I'll be here. If I keep naming, I'm just going to keep naming people.
Okay. Well, that's
But
just like
yeah,
another convenient thing, and then I'm assuming that's also aligned with helping people.
It's about culture. It's about culture at the end of the day. What are the values in your household? What do you value going into your mind? What do you value going into your body? Like that's what this is about. What are you intaking? And then what are you giving people? And then, like what's your behavior like? How do you interact with people? What people do you interact with? It's a very just refined culture, more traditional, conventional, not this new society where it's like kind of reckless, has no binding to any moral code or creed. People don't have values anymore. It's like, oh, I have an OnlyFans account because I can make a lot of money. And as a dude, I thought about it myself, like, yo, would I do porn? Like, you just got to have that thought, right? You're like, could I do porn or would I do porn? Like, I have to be really broke to do that. I'm like, I never want to be that broke, right? Like, I always thought about that. It was like, I never want to be broke enough to want to do porn. Mm-hmm. So when women do it, I'm just like, I get it, because you want the money, you want to do wild shit, you young. Like, I get it, that's cool. But where's that moral code? Like, where's that thing that says, nah, I can live the life I want to live doing things that are more reciprocal, cyclical, meaning when an animal dies, it decays, and then the soil, the nutrients go into the soil, and then the next animal is going to come along. They're going to eat the grass that grows from that soil, and it goes around. You see what I'm saying? When somebody's using pornography as their source of income, they cut off that cycle. There's no nutrition anymore. They're taking radioactive waste and throwing it on the soil so nothing can grow there anymore. They're stopping that cycle of growth. If these persons were investing their time in renewable energy, they're investing their time in how to clean up the ocean. You see how they're nurturing life? Mm-hmm. That cycle would keep going. people aren't investing their times in the things that nourish life. They invest their times in things that kill life. And then we wonder why we have such a devious world. And I think even when with some people with startups, they're like, oh, I'm working on a startup. I'm like, cool, what's the startup do? And it's like, how is that nourishing life on this planet? It's just another distraction. Like, I don't want to be involved in a project that's another distraction. Like, let's give people solutions to real life problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wrote a blog on digital addiction, and I read a book called Digital Minimalism, and it's a bit ironic because I found you on the internet, and I know you sort of built something based on social media, which is incredibly distracting. Um, how do you think about organizing your day? Do you limit yourself on social media? Like, how do you approach that? Or not
I
really?
don't have to limit myself on social media. People discuss me so much, I feel repulsed to even read what
So
people are
it's
thinking.
natural.
Yeah. I usually like dump and go. If I'm on social media for a long period of time, it's because there's a lot of information to consume. I might be on Twitter for 2 hours because there's 7 trending topics and I got a show tomorrow. Right? So I'm looking to see what people are saying about things and the articles linked to. Now, so I'm hitting that article. Now I'm reading, and then that link to a YouTube. So now I'm on YouTube and I'm watching this 10-minute video. Then I go back to Twitter. Like, you can really get lost in Twitter like that, So, and then it's like on to the next trending topic, and then you end up in another rabbit hole, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But for me, like Eugene Schwartz say, if you ever want to become a good marketer, you have to read the National Enquirer. You got to read the tabloids. Twitter is that tabloid. It tells you what people are thinking about, speaking about, what they like, what they don't like, and it's also giving you the language, which is the most important piece, is the language that they're using when they talk about these events and products and brands and people and things. So when you observe, you can either, your perspective on how you observe social media can be in different states. Some people are in a very subconscious state. I believe you have to look at social media in a conscious state and know what you're looking at. And every time you come across a piece of something, knowing how to frame that in your mind, knowing how to be objective in your mind. Because you can get emotional on some of these things. You see somebody say something you don't like, and now it's like, oh, I have to argue with this person now. And it's just like,
Yeah.
no, like, this is just what somebody said on Twitter. We keep scrolling. Like certain things don't deserve your attention. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I forget where I was going with that.
Yeah, I was just asking you about like how you schedule your day around like limiting social media. But I do, we're approaching. I want to respect your time. We're approaching the top of the hour, and I wanted to get into before we closed out. I think you're a master marketer, and I want to say that.
Thank
I think
you.
you're very funny.
Thank you.
And what I really like, I don't think we have all the same views like on politics, but what I really love about what you represent, at least how I've interpreted it, is that you love being Black.
Oh yeah.
Culture. But so I just want to say that before we close that. My last question is about businesses post COVID, or like, what you think, if you had to give advice to somebody trying to start something, what do you think should be focused on?
So I don't think it's fair for me to say what people should be focused on. As it'd be better to tell them how to find something to focus on, right? So NeilPatel.com did an article on this. I think Noah Kagan has articles on this. There's articles everywhere. People are publishing about what people are talking about on social media, what people are emailing each other about, what industries have went up and what industries have gone down. Go look at this data, see what's up, see what's down, understand why certain industries are up, why certain industries are down. Look at their history, look at these industries' histories, and see potential for a rebound. Because you might get in industry that's low now because it's buying low. So when it rebounds, you're the king of the hill. You know, you might go into one of these more popular industries and you could win because you're in a winning market, or you could get drowned out because you're in a saturated market. But look at these trends and try to understand them. But once you understand these trends and why they're that way, then go to the next level and look for problems. Look for problems people are having. Check the Reddits. I love looking at Reddit. Just check the Reddits and see what people are talking about, problems. Look at the Twitter. Like I said, Twitter is a great place. Like the other day, I was looking for a new email client to send my emails with, and I went to Google first. But Google's dominated by SEO.
Mm-hmm.
All my SERPs coming back dominated by SEO. So I couldn't. I was getting the same old names, Get Response, MailerLite, Campaign Monitor. I'm like, no, there's got to be something new that somebody's creating that I want. That's for me. It's got to be. I couldn't find it on Google. So where did I go? I went to Twitter and I typed in Get Response because I wanted to see what people were saying about Get Response. Lo and behold, I run across this tweet, and this tweet's like, oh, check out this new thing called SendFox. So I'm like, okay, let's check it out. It's exactly what I was looking for. It's new. It's like 6 months old. It's out of Silicon Valley. Noah Kagan runs it. I'm like, perfect, right? But you wouldn't find that on Google, right? You wouldn't find it. I don't know if you would find it on Reddit, but I found it on Twitter, So I think look at the conversations. That's how you got to discover stuff, man. You got to look at the conversations people are having.
Yeah, I actually use Get Response.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great piece of software, which is why I use that as the pinnacle to search with.
Right.
Like, let me see what people are saying.
Yeah. This is Hotep Jesus, Bryan Sharpe. I appreciate you taking the time this morning to talk to me.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure. Great questions. Great interview. I'll come back anytime, man.